when you look at the weight loss community as a whole, there's this discourse about using the GLP-1 versus doing it the natural way. And people actually trying to shame people using these medications because somehow it doesn't mean anything if you didn't do it the hard way. And we have to move away from that mindset that everything has to be a struggle. And that is why I believe that a lot of people are struggling even on a GLP-1 because of this need to overcomplicate things or this feeling that you're not doing enough. And I want you to know that is not the case. This is going to look different for everybody. And I know that a lot of us say that often, but it's true. None of these experiences are going to be the same. You can watch your favorite creator and do every single thing that that person did, and your outcome is still going to be different. And that is okay. And that's what I kind of want to normalize, like not embracing this high energy, you laundry list of things to do every day to feel like you're worth something or to feel accomplished. I don't need that. And I don't think you need that either. I don't want to do anything the hard way. And I found that I am a lot happier with not putting all these extra things on myself. And that doesn't mean that I don't do anything. So I'm not saying that a person should be sitting in the bed all day, every day, doing absolutely nothing. That's not what I'm saying. But when you get out of the bed and the things that you choose to do, I want you to do things that you actually enjoy doing. And I want you to know it's okay to change your mind. It is perfectly fine to change your mind. So if you are maybe going through a season where you feel like I'm going to walk, some people do steps, so 10,000 steps a day, and you get to a point where you're like, well, I don't want to do that anymore, then don't, and know that it's okay. This is another reason why the 75 hard. Now, I'm not knocking anyone that does that. I think for those that are able to do it, it's great. But I think I know of more people that have tried and stopped or modified it than I know people who have actually successfully completed it. So if you go by the rules, right? This is not a 75 hard video, but I'm just saying you're supposed to have you're supposed to have 2 workouts a day. One is supposed to be outdoors. You're reading 10 pages or something like that, drinking a certain amount of water, picking a particular diet that you want to eat. And all of those things, I mean, if you pick some things that you want to do, then that's cool. But putting this extra pressure on yourself to accomplish something, why do we feel like we need to do that? Do you know what I mean? I've had times in my life where I was, high achieving at work. And then what happens is everything gets dumped on you. You become the go-to person for everything. And I don't want to treat anything in my life like that. And I definitely don't want my health journey to be like that. I don't believe that we are supposed to be just struggling and always striving for the next thing. Why, as a society, can't we just be comfortable with being enough, right? Whatever that looks like for you. Because think about this. Think about someone starting their weight loss journey that has been sedentary. Getting out and doing something like, or not even getting out. Maybe you start off walking in place. Maybe it's the act of sitting and standing, doing some chair exercises. Don't let anybody shame you into thinking you're supposed to come off the gate, strength training, walking miles a day, 10, 20,000 steps, going from barely drinking anything to drinking a gallon of water a day. Like, these are the things that we do that overcomplicate this whole process. It does not have to be hard. We have enough things in life that are difficult. We don't need to add extra things to that. And something like our health shouldn't be something that we dread or we are just in this battle with constantly. For me, Zepbound has cleared the mental space for me to focus on other things. I don't find myself constantly thinking about what I'm going to eat. When I'm eating, I don't have this thing in me anymore that tells me I have to finish everything on my plate. I went to the Downsize and Diva meetup, and it was nice seeing, okay, you see all this food left behind because there were 7 of us, and no one was forcing themselves to finish everything. It was nice seeing people, you know, you're satisfied. You eat some of this, you eat some of that, and then you're good. It didn't appear to me that anybody was struggling or putting themselves through anything. I think we all felt comfortable enough to be ourselves. It was a really good experience. And, we all did a lot of talking, and I feel like this is this common thing, feeling like you're not doing enough. And I want to ask you, if you feel like you're not doing enough, whose standard are you going by? Do you legitimately feel like you're not doing enough? Or are you seeing what other people are doing, and based off of that, that's how you're assessing that you're not doing enough? Do you know what I'm saying? Because there's a difference. And I think a lot of it is, and comparison is just something, humans, we do it to some degree. And that is why I talk about that a lot, not comparing yourself to others, because that's really the times that we feel inadequate. You have, and some of this stuff is off topic, but I'm going to talk about a content creator, Nara Smith. She dresses pretty. She makes things from scratch. And some of the comments I've seen on her videos are from other women that say, this is not realistic. And, oh, this makes me feel bad about myself. Why? The fact that she likes to dress up and make these meals from scratch, that's something she enjoys doing. If that's not what you enjoy doing, why even compare yourself to her or have any kind of feelings of inadequacy based off of that? Do you know what I mean? The same with this weight loss journey. When I first started, I was going 1,000 miles an hour, but I wasn't doing it because I saw someone else doing it. I started off with the diet. A couple of weeks into it, I incorporated movement, had a DEXA scan, found out things were not kind of trending in the way that I wasn't losing weight in the way that where I would feel like it was a safe and healthy way. So in order to know what I was doing so that I can make proper adjustments, I started tracking things, and I did that for well over a year. That worked for me. I understand that for some people, because of the way that you tracked in the past, it's not something you're able to do without being triggered into the way that worked for you in the past. So I understand that. You got to find some way, though, of figuring these things out. I am not at a point now where I am, hyper focused on calories, protein. I have basically been eating the same way, and that's working for me. The only thing that's different than when I kind of started everything off is the way that I'm showing up for movement. But I am content with that. Initially there was a little bit of a embarrassment there, but then I thought about it. What am I embarrassed for? I am sharing my journey, and that is the good, the bad, the ugly, the ups, the downs, all of that. I'm sharing that. And when I want to do things, that's what I'm going to do. And when I don't, then I'm not. And I want you to be able to do that as well. We're in these communities and we're seeing a lot of what people are doing and what's working for some and what's not working for others. You got to find that for you. People that create content, we're just doing it in public. You know what I mean? If you're someone and you really feel like you're struggling, you're not doing enough, what are you using to base that off of? Because if it's a matter of, well, I'm not losing weight as fast as I want, are there other things that you are keeping track of other than the scale? Everybody doesn't want to go out and get a DEXA scan. Everyone's not concerned about muscle. The things that are important to you, the reason you started your GLP-1 medication, that's what you need to be locked into. I know why I started, and I've shared that, and there are lots of videos talking about it, but that's for me, right? maybe you're not someone who had food noise. You've got other stuff going on. So your motives or the things that motivate you are going to be different than mine. And I just want us to get comfortable with being okay with doing enough. And enough is what you determine that is. It's not what I determine. So I don't get to tell you what enough looks like or how you're supposed to show up. What I do know is it is important to be making good dietary choices regularly, right? So if you're just consuming a bunch of ultra processed foods constantly, well, I mean, and you don't want to move your body at all, things are going to be this way for you, you know, versus someone who is trying to incorporate more healthier options. And all of that, that's based on you. Me being a vegan has nothing at all to do with weight loss. I am what you would call an ethical vegan, and it really is just about the animals. And I mean that wholeheartedly. If I go somewhere and they don't have something that accommodates me, then I'm not eating it. But that's a personal choice. Do you know what I mean? If my blood work came back and I was deficient in some way, then I would take some sort of supplement. Everybody eating a vegan diet is not just eating rabbit food, is what I've heard people call it. So I'm not in any way saying that that's what you need to do. That is why I'm eating this way. When I was overweight and unhealthy, I was still a vegan. So that's why I'm saying that. I do believe that, you know, and there are studies coming out, people are not getting enough fiber. So make sure you incorporate that. We don't have to go crazy. And, you know, I feel like when something is trending, like protein or fiber, people think that they have to go above and beyond. And you're, what is it, maxing, fiber maxing, protein maxing. You don't have to do that. We don't have to take everything and overcomplicate it. Make sure you're getting enough protein. Whatever that is for you, that's something that you can talk to your doctor about. Or, you know, if you're able to see a dietitian, they can help you put that together based off of your activity levels, your results. You know, everybody can't also jump in and start, you know, a whole strength training routine, especially if you've been sedentary. Make sure you're cleared by your doctor. So this whole health journey, you should be working with, I'm assuming if you're on a GLP-1 medication, my assumption is that you have a medical provider. And that is who you should be going to. The internet, us creators, we're here as a resource, but your primary of what you should be and shouldn't be doing, that needs to come from your doctor. And if you don't have a relationship with your doctor and you're not comfortable or they're not able to help you, you may need to see someone else. If you feel like you're not doing enough, I would challenge you to figure out whose standard are you going by? Okay? And I want you to remember, we can share our journeys, but we should never compare them. And that is in the sense of if something is making you feel less than, we don't need that. All right? I'll talk to you soon. Bye.